Good morning. Bit of a steep hill here. Keep my breath going. Hey, I just got my package in from Luxe Hiking Equipment. The tent jack for the stove. So that's next. I'll try to get that together, show you the tent I chose, why I chose it, and I guess I'm too excited to wait. So we'll get back to it. Okay, let's go see what we have. Okay, before I open up the package from Luxe Hiking Gear, I'm going to grab a little bit of breakfast. Actually, maybe not, but I will say this. When we were back in Wisconsin, Sister Betty knew I liked a certain type of cranberry bread. And you know somebody loves you when they pay $17 to get a loaf of bread shipped out for Christmas. Special bread. Thank you, Sister Betty. I'll bet Leroy has something to do with that too. But this is what we've been looking for. Luxe Hiking Gear. I looked at building a stove jack. There's so many DIY projects out there. But by the time I got adding up the price, I think it's about $12, something like that, for a fiberglass mesh blanket from Harbor Freight. Tube of fireproof caulking is around $10. You start adding it all up. When I came to this and I saw you get this whole thing for $31, I thought, man, how do you beat it? So what do we have here? Bill to me. And then here's the unit. Doesn't look like too much from there, but has an outside cover. When you're not using it, you can totally seal it off. Then inside it has another flap, fireproof flap, so when you cut the opening, the rain still can't get in your tent. And then look at this on the back. This really caught my attention. These folks really thought of everything. They really did. Don't know who they are, but big thanks to you folks. Anyhow, on the back of this is double sticks, so when you figure out where you want to locate it on the tent, press it in place. Don't have to worry about it. Bring it in, sew it, take it out, or cut it out here, and then you attach this back to it, cut the hole where you want it, and you're good to go. Okay, which tent did I choose and why? The tent I chose comes from Big Agnes. It's the Tensleep Station 4. There's some fairly obvious reasons and maybe a couple that are not quite so obvious. The reason I chose this one over some of the ones I have, the first reason that comes to mind is the bigger vestibule doesn't have a floor in it. That's a place to start. And secondly, it has panels in the side that I can put a stove jack through there without any challenge. That brings me to another point. I'm not sure if you can see it, but each side of the tent has airflow coming up. And I think that's important if you're going to have a wood stove. You got to have enough air. You don't want to asphyxiate in the night. It also has vents up high, and I think that's important as well, so you get the airflow through. I've used this thing winter camping before, and it really does a good job. If it has one flaw, and I never could figure it out, of course there's mosquito netting on the inside door, but they've made this porch, this vestibule, with screen, and then at the bottom there's a 4 to 6 inch gap all the way around. The mosquitoes find just fine. And so, really, I'll put a skirt around there probably just to keep the airflow down, but that screen is going to come out. It doesn't do any good anyhow, and that'll give me a perfect place to come through this side flap with my stove jack. I'll guarantee you I've never taken a pocket knife to a tent before, but maybe you gotta start somewhere, right? Folks at Luxe Hiking Gear have this thing figured out. By the time you bought all the stuff to do this, it just doesn't come any better than this. I think it's $31, I think. Plus that it has a cover that goes over the outside, so when you don't want to use it at all, you can cover it in and be waterproof. It's a pretty cool deal. I'm pretty excited about this. There it is. You know what? I want to fire it up right now, but I'm going to wait till tonight. I want to see what it does the same time you do. I've got to take the rest of the paint off that door. I haven't got that far yet. I was really tempted to start the fire in here last night, but there'd be no way to see the actual temperature, so this morning I went out and bought a thermometer so we can get a little better idea. Not using any accelerants. I'm actually just using natural, not even using paper. I'm using some birch and some sticks, but not using anything to bump up the heat, just what you might find in the woods. So yeah, we went from freezing to 70 degrees in 10 minutes in here. Obviously I could still put a skirting around the bottom if I wanted to warm it up, and it would help. And if I open the stove up, I could just run this out of here. So I'm not really sure about the skirting yet. But that's no accelerants, that's just sticks and some birch bark, and it's no paper even. So the little thing really works pretty well. I think it's a win-win. The little stove, I think I have $20, give or take, very little, and weighs 6 pounds. Obviously it's light enough. The tent jack that we got from Luxe Hiking Gear is working awesome, and just happy with it. Verse of the day, found in Proverbs 20th chapter, 14th verse. It says, it is not, saith the buyer, but when he is gone his way, then he boasteth. People haven't changed too much, have they? We all like a good deal, I guess. And you may have something for sale, and somebody comes and they point out this or they point out that, say, oh, can't pay you. I'll give you this much, but got to do this and I've got to do that. It happened back in Bible times. But you know, God is concerned about our business deals. And as we look at this verse here, the Bible talks about loving your neighbor as yourself. We're living in interesting times. There are a lot of people that are hurting with their jobs. There are buys to be made. There really are. But let's remember that God is looking at our business deals. And when we go out there to look something over, let's give the man an honest price for an honest product. That's honoring God. We love our neighbor as ourselves. We do what God would have us do. We don't want to mar our testimony over a few dollars, if that comes to that. But if you put God first, He will honor you, and you can't beat that. It's the way to go.